Welcome everybody to a first look video with a twist of the all-new Nissan Almera. Now, Nissan says they've sold over 100,000 units of this car globally ever since it was unveiled, and I guess judging from the exterior, we can see why. So let's first take a look at the outside of the car. You get LED daytime running lights, LED headlamps, LED fog lamps. However, it varies with the three different variants. It's only available for the high-spec variant. You also get this signature Nissan V-Motion grille at the front here. Moving on towards the side, you get two different wheel sizes. 15-inch in the other variants, but this one you get this 16-inch wheel design. Now, as for the other parts of the exterior, the car is now about 4 centimeters lower, 4 centimeters wider, about 7 centimeters longer with 20 millimeters extra wheelbase. Other things to note about the exterior is that the side mirrors have been moved outwards a bit so as to encourage smoother airflow, reducing cabin noise. Other things that they have done to improve NVH and reduce cabin noise is that the inside panels here have been double welded. There are extra insulation by the A-pillars. You get thicker front windows and you get extra insulation on all 4 doors. So you also get keyless entry, which is standard on all variants, auto folding power side mirrors, and then you also get this floating roof effect with this black trim here. And then moving towards the back, you get these LED tail lamps, and for this high-spec model, you also get this black lid spoiler. Standard on all variants is this very attractive rear diffuser with a sort of carbon fiber finishing on the bumper. Now, as for the cargo space, you get 480 liters of cargo space, and from the looks of it, you can definitely very easily fit 2 full-size luggages. So let's go check out the interior now. Now, the first thing you noticed upon climbing in the all-new Nissan Almera is that it comes with these semi-bucket seats that actually offer quite a lot of grip support. And then after that, you get this flat-bottom steering wheel with various controls for the infotainment system and also the cruise control system. Up front here, you get a semi-digital instrument cluster with 9 different displays. A first in class, according to Nissan. Here you also get an 8-inch infotainment touchscreen display with 6 speakers and Apple CarPlay. Other notable features include an automatic climate control and 3 USB ports. When you examine closely, you realize that there's actually quite a lot of soft touch materials on the armrest here and also on the dashboard. Overall, what I particularly like about this cabin is the fact that it comes with various trims in different colors. You have a bit of chrome, you also have a bit of carbon fiber-like finishing. With the all-new Almera's slightly longer wheelbase, I guess you can see the results speak for itself. There's plenty of leg room, decent amount of knee room and headroom as well. Elsewhere, you get a USB port up front here and also a rear armrest. Safety features and driver assistance in the all-new Almera includes 6 airbags, hill start assist, brake assist, electronic brake force distribution, traction control and vehicle dynamic control. Also available is the first-in-class intelligent forward collision warning and intelligent emergency braking, along with blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, intelligent around view monitor and also moving object detection. Up front here, all 3 variants are powered by a 1-litre turbocharged 3-cylinder engine making 100 horsepower and 152 Nm of torque. This turbocharged engine is paired to an Xtronic CVT gearbox to power the front wheels. Fuel consumption, Nissan says, is rated at 18.4 kilometers per litre or 5.4 litres per 100 kilometers. One thing to note about this turbocharged engine is that it comes with the mirror bore technology for the cylinder lining, which reduces friction up to 50%, and that, as we know, improves performance. Another thing to note about this mirror bore coating technology is the fact that it was adopted from the Nissan GT-R. Now, here's why I said it's a first look with a twist. That's because we're actually going for a test drive. Okay, so first first impressions, you don't really hear much of the engine upon startup. And for a 3-cylinder engine, you don't actually feel a lot of the vibration and all that. But let's see what it's like when we start accelerating. This does not feel like the old Almera at all. It feels like granted it's an all-new car, but my god. Okay, very good time to be a Nissan salesman. Once this car come out, right? Okay, I guess for all intents and purposes, I'm only going to sort of observe two aspects of this car. Number one, obviously performance, because it's a turbocharged engine. Nissan says peak torque is at about 2,400 RPM, so you really don't have to rev out the engine. And the other thing is the insulation, because they have paid quite a lot of attention to the NVH of this car. Power delivery is very smooth. You don't feel much of the gear changes, obviously because it's a CVT as well. It's very quiet.
The insulation, we added a lot of things.
And the engine as well, as I'm accelerating, I actually, even at 3,500 now, nothing. It's still got that very typical 3-cylinder sound, yeah. Yeah, that characteristic. I think you can't run from that now. Yeah. But the insulation is actually very impressive. I mean, in my own car, sitting in here with the cars passing by and all that, with the piling going on, you'll definitely hear a lot more, but it actually feels very insulated. That's quite impressive. So we've got the car into N now, in traffic. Don't feel much of the vibrations at all. It's very effortless to drive as well. I mean, you don't really have to squeeze the engine. If you drive like a normal person, below 3,000 RPM, you can get all the performance you'll ever need. Steering is very light, super effortless to maneuver. I'm actually quite impressed by the refinement of this car, considering it's a B-segment car, right? And I mean, when you compare it with the previous generation Almera, my goodness, this is a big step up. I spent some time in the previous Almera. My god, now that it's an old product, I can be a bit more loose with my words. It was awful, man. I mean, but it was a car for a very different purpose. It was a car that made, I guess, Japanese cars more accessible to the mass market,
And also to just point A to point B.
Yeah. I mean, in that sense, the previous generation Almera did its job, I would say, right? But this is definitely a big step up for what? Prices starting at about 80,000 ringgit to about 90,000 ringgit for the high-spec model, which is this, right?
This is a 90,000 model.
Right. 9 different displays on this semi-digital instrument cluster, because it's only like what, on the left-hand side. But I think it's actually quite impressive because the displays, man, the resolution, the fonts, the design, that's actually not bad. First in class, by the way, in a B-segment car. So we've got an empty stretch at the moment, revving at about 3,000. Man, for a B-segment car, I'd say there's plenty of performance, but not just that. It's the refinement, actually. I mean, granted, the road condition now is slightly smoother than most roads that we have travelled on so far, but it's actually very quiet in terms of the wind noise, the refinement in terms of all the bumps and humps. It's actually very impressive, and the engine is really quiet. Genuinely can't wait to spend more time in this car, if you ask me. But I guess that's all for now. Considering it's a very, very brief test drive, I would definitely love to share more with you about the all-new Almera. So stay tuned for our next video. So that's all for our first look video of the all-new Nissan Almera. Pricing for it starts from 80,000+ ringgit for the lower two variants, 90,000+ ringgit for the higher spec 1-litre turbocharged VLT variant. For more information on the all-new Nissan Almera, do log on to AutoBuzz.my.